I'll be disabling the lock on a Smith & Wesson Model 640. This is a stainless steel .357 Magnum snub-nose revolver. These are the tools that I'll be using. First, a mallet with a nylon or plastic head, something that won't mar the finish on the revolver. Next, I'll need a dental pick or a sharp-pointed scribe, a pair of tweezers, or a jeweler's needle nose pliers will work quite well, a paper clip, a twisty tie with a wire center, and finally a screwdriver with a good set of bits. Begin by removing the pistol grip. Next to be removed will be the 3 screws holding on the side plate. And the screw holding the thumb piece to the cylinder bolt. Be careful when removing the screw below the cylinder. This screw comes in 3 pieces. The head of the screw, which has the thread, then there's an inner small spring and a tip on the end. This all holds the yoke in the gun frame. Here's a close-up of that screw. And finally the screw holding the thumb piece. To remove the side plate, wrap the handle of the frame several times sharply, and the side plate will break loose. Next, I'll remove the mainspring and the stirrup, and this is accomplished by squeezing slowly on the trigger and allowing the hammer to compress the mainspring. As the mainspring is compressed, the lower end of the stirrup will extend through the mainspring swivel, and a small pinhole will become visible at the bottom. Take and place the paper clip into that pinhole. Slowly release the trigger, and the stirrup will come out of the hammer. By placing the index fingers on the back side of the frame, you can press up and the assembly will come out. Next to be removed is the hammer. If you squeeze slowly on the trigger, drop the hammer back until it clears the frame and the tail of the hammer clears the hand and the sear, then lift out. The next item to be removed is the cylinder bolt. Be careful, on the left end of the cylinder bolt is a plunger that is spring-loaded that tensions the cylinder bolt in place. Take the tweezers and grab the right end, press backward slowly, lift out of the frame. Be careful of that plunger. We've finally reached the point where we want to remove this little flag and locking mechanism. The little nub on there that you see is the part that actually will lock the hammer in place. And the back side of this little flag is a nub that will go through the frame. This is a close-up of what that flag looks like. You can see the spring right there that we're going to grab with a pick, and the backside nub that goes through the frame. Down here below this, you'll see that spring fits in a groove in the frame itself. We're going to take a sharp device like a dental pick, and we're going to pull that spring out away from the groove. And at the same time, with the other hand, we'll take the tweezers or needle nose pliers and grab that nub and lift up. And here's what it looks like when we do them together. And out it comes. We're ready to put the gun back together. This involves putting in the cylinder bolt. We take the plunger end in first and compress and insert the right end into the gun frame. Next, we'll replace the hammer. We do this by squeezing on the trigger to raise the sear and the hand, and we'll place the hammer on the pivot point with the tail of the hammer under the sear and the head of the hammer underneath the frame. Then release on the trigger, help the hammer forward, and we're all set. We're going to replace the mainspring and stirrup next. Actually requires 3 hands, but in lieu of 3 hands we'll use a little twisty tie around the trigger and the trigger guard. Don't twist the twisty tie at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the trigger slowly after we've placed the stirrup in there, and we're going to seat the stirrup in the spring. Keep pressure on the trigger and it'll hold it in place, and then twist the twisty tie to hold the trigger in place. And then we can take and remove the paper clip from the stirrup by holding firmly with your left hand and removing the paper clip with your right hand. The hard part's done now. Just remove the twisty tie and replace all the other parts on the revolver. Replace the side plate. Replace the screws. Don't forget this is the 3-piece screw below the cylinder. Replace the thumb piece. And finally replace the grip. And the project is done. A good reference to have around the shop would be this Smith & Wesson shop manual. And if you're into doing your own trigger job, this DVD is a nice item to have. Thank you for watching my video.